since that we're in March and we're nearly a quarter finishing up with 2022 when it comes to the first quarter, I want to get this update out of the way before I upload my first video tomorrow for this month. This is about LGBT, a Loud House project, the Summer Palooza 4, if there is going to be one, possibly, but I don't know, and my Wee Baby Bears and my Camp Koa video that could be uploading at the end of April or in May. To make this perfectly clear about LGBT, I did mention about doing 12 videos, and I made that clear that I'm going to be making 12 videos, but on the other hand, judging that an episode wouldn't be enough when it comes to characters mostly pairing up when it comes to this type of community and people completely enjoy it, I might make more, but on the other hand, it's going to be difficult knowing that my binge watching in one of these shows are extremely slow, which could lead to me watching an episode out of order for the sake of reviewing that episode, even if I'm going to be missing some information. Now, I understand that doing 20 videos is going to be a pain, but just to point out, what I have plans for my May schedule of this year is going to be less compared to what I have for this month and next month, because I was planning on doing reviews for May, but unfortunately it will probably be a lot more complicated. And even if I do not do fanfics that much, I might be able to do a 4th chapter of Steven Universe at the Creek and make that as one of the videos for my LGBT month. Most likely the fact that people have been enjoying that fanfic since I posted it on different social medias, and judging how people really enjoys those types of characters, who really enjoys these types of characters, since that most of the writers and directors were working on Steven Universe and Craig of the Creek, I can get the impression that I might be able to do it in time, knowing that my scrapped LGBT story was canceled due to me putting a lot more stress and not knowing where the story is going to go. So I really feel like that I might be able to do a fanfic reading as part of LGBT month, if possible. Now, one of the plans, the issues I have involving LGBT being 12 videos instead of 20, is because there was not a lot of episodes for me to review involving LGBT representation. Granted, I've been learning more about it, and with cartoons like Arthur ending last month, I did found new things in those cartoons, and even though that those elements isn't going to get me invested into those cartoons, I might be able to use those episodes as part of LGBT month in order to make it exciting. And believe it or not, I really feel like that ever since I've been watching more cartoons as of late, the more I've actually seen an opportunities to make LGBT a huge month. And the reason why I'm going to be calling it LGBT month is because the final review I'm going to be uploading on that month will explain everything. Now, I know it's going to be a difficult task. I am aware that LGBT month is going to be like Cartoon Crisis 2 or We Bare Bears month from 2020 and 2021, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to be doing this month again next year, because I had this in mind once Pride Month was over last year, and the more shows I watch and the more I learn about them, the more I want to express my opinions on that representation of LGBT pairings. And considering that I've already reviewed an LGBT episode review involving the Owl House, which is from the first season, I am thankful that the Owl House is coming back for this year so that I can actually pick one episode that involves Luce and Amity in order to do an episode review of that for LGBT month. And to be quite honest, this is going to be a lot more interesting knowing that my perspective on these pairings is going to be something that I don't usually do, because LGBT pairings is still the same thing as shipping. Well, except it represents what people do in real life involving LGBT representation. But on the other hand, I might be able to review multiple episodes from a cartoon. I was originally going to be reviewing one of them, but at the same time, I want to up my game a bit, even if it's going to be complicated. It may go against my rules on reviewing multiple episodes from one cartoon for 1 month, but on the other hand, canceling Steven Universe month, along with the other canceled projects that I've done in the past, will probably be worth it in order to make LGBT month more of an attention month and something mostly memorable for what I have in store. Believe it or not, if I'm not going to be able to do LGBT month this year, then probably never again. Possibly next year, but at the same time, not like this. Now let's get into the Loud House project. Now, I've already made 2 reviews for my Loud House reviews for this month and next month. One of them centers around one of the characters in the family, and at the same time, I've already watched all the episodes of the Loud House. My binge watching since December of last year up until February was honestly a ride to get an understanding of the fandom and what people would feel about the characters and merely the positives. But unfortunately, regardless if I'm not going to be doing Cartoon Crisis 3 anytime soon, I'm actually going to be doing a huge video involving Lincoln. Not mostly of what people usually expect when it comes to his character, but in all honesty, the fact that people mostly side with Lincoln and sometimes against him really shows that the fandom is mostly divided. The other half being sane, while the half is just completely overshadowing of what people enjoy from the show is toxic. And to be quite honest, I'm always in the middle. Most likely the fact that I've looked into these episodes a lot more, and I wasn't originally going to be planning on reviewing terrible episodes like No Such Luck, Brawl in the Family, just to name a few, but the more I think about it, I feel like doing a review of those episodes won't work. And doing an entire video essay on Lincoln's experience with how he's being mistreated and when it comes to how good he is or how bad he is, I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be a good video. Granted, I doubt it's going to happen in May of this year, since that along a way I'm going to be doing the LGBT reviews, but possibly I'm going to be uploading this as part of my July schedule. And considering that I do have multiple plans on trying to figure out other ways to make Summer Palooza 4 a thing, despite not being as big as it was last year, we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. The reason of me thinking about these video ideas is because, for one, I really feel like that people are mostly divided when it comes to sign with Lincoln or mostly against Lincoln. And even though that I'm aware that Lincoln isn't a perfect character by any means, I really feel like that his motivations in one of the episodes, as the series continues, would probably be an understatement, knowing that new fans will probably not get the understanding of torture Lincoln episodes. And believe me when I say this, I really feel like that me talking about nearly all the terrible episodes from the Loud House centering around Lincoln is mostly a good idea instead of just separate them for a later time. I knew full well that the Loud House was going to be a lot more toxic the more I watch episodes and people discussing their opinions on it. But for me personally, I really feel like that what I've seen sums up onto why I really feel like I need to make this video. Otherwise, my perspective on one of the episodes will probably be too different and too similar with each other. Which pretty much sums up onto why I'm not doing multiple reviews like I used to. Granted, LGBT month is going to be an exception, but at the same time, this show in particular sums up everything onto why doing another Cartoon Crisis would take a lot of time than necessary, even if I really, really want to do another Cartoon Crisis. Next is We Baby Bears in Camp Coral. It's been like 3 or 2 weeks since I did my last recording on on this project, and at the same time, I really feel like that what I have in store for this project could take up much longer. And if some of you guys say that you should save it for Summer Palooza 4, I really don't need to. That was my original plans for last year's Summer Palooza if the spin-off of We Bare Bears didn't got delayed whatsoever. And judging of how that it took so much stress into putting everything together for last year's Summer Palooza, I ended up replacing it with my Rugrats in Paris review. Now, if any of you guys are going to mention the fact that there's going to be an update on the second season of Camp Coral, I'm not going to add that in the project. Because in my opinion, the second half of season 1, which was released in July of last year, gave me what I actually thought that this show was going to be. I'm not going to express what it is, but considering that some fans found this show somewhat of an improvement of the second half of the season, I really have a difficult time to believing that. And knowing that the project itself is going to be much more longer than necessary, believe it or not, this is literally like the first third or the first fourth of me just trying to complete it. Despite the fact that I've just finished discussing the world building, the animation, and the characters, and yet I might add more categories. Granted, I'm not in the position to rush this thing out completely since that I have enough time, but on the other hand, I really feel like that this is going to be a really important project once it gets uploaded at the end of April or somewhere in May. Like I said, it's going to be really, really important for you guys to witness what I have in store involving Camp Coral, especially the spin-off of We Bare Bears. And when it comes to other projects that I didn't scrap, I was originally going to be comparing a terrible Amphibia episode from season 1 to a season 3 episode. Most likely the fact that if you look at one of the episodes from the first season of Amphibia, if you're mostly familiar of how the characters were portrayed, you can easily tell that a later episode is mostly an improvement. I understand it's difficult to understand, but it's going to be a secret once I upload it in May or possibly later on, like in July. If you really think of how I'm trying to make these projects mostly a secret, it's because I want to make this a lot more interesting for the types of videos I can make. I may not make multiple videos that much, but at the same time, I still have the ideas. And considering that I'm going to be opening up new social media platforms, not really platforms, but having new accounts on different social media platforms like Tumblr, DeviantArt, even if I had that account last year, and Reddit, if I did pronounce that right, I really want to expose my ideas to nearly every other social media website, regardless if it's over the top. And even if I do not do Dailymotion or Vimeo that much, I might lose them in case of copyright emergencies. But judging the fact that my channel wasn't striked that much involving copyright in such a long time, I think I'm gonna be fine. And last but not least is Summer Palooza 4. The only thing I can think of involving Summer Palooza 4 being a thing is just reviewing beach episodes. And the sad thing is, I don't even think I'm going to be reviewing a lot of material involving beach episodes, knowing that the fact that I've reviewed several beach episodes as part of my last year's Summer Palooza. And at the same time, I don't even think that what I have in store for this year's Summer Palooza isn't going to be anything special, knowing that this takes place right after LGBT month. And believe it or not, I wish I could come up with great ideas of having Summer Palooza, but I don't, and I'm not even gonna bother saving those major ideas for this occasion because I don't want to be that impatient. When it comes to video delays and doing different projects, that's a possibility, but on the other hand, I really feel like that Summer Palooza 4 is gonna be a huge downgrade compared to the previous Summer Paloozas, including the first one, knowing that that was a work in progress and the fact that I didn't come up with that name back in 2019. I wish that this year was going to be a lot more interesting, but at the same time, knowing that I'm still in quarantine at the moment and I'm extremely burned out to making these videos after nearly 2 years since that we were in quarantine, this really feels like something you will probably be disappointed, but at the same time, I have less ideas for what I have in store for Summer Palooza. There could be a surprise, but at the same time, I don't know. Which is going to be a lot more depressing at the fact that my ability into making multiple videos have been cutting down a lot more. And the fact that I'm not doing fanfics that much really proves it. And whenever I get the chance to do fanfics, it's either at a time where I'm mostly invested, or the fact that I'm not pressured because I do not want to miss a deadline. So, I really hope that you might understand that Summer Palooza 4 isn't going to be like it was last year or even in the first 2 Summer Paloozas. Whether if you are disappointed or not, I can only do the best of my abilities to make Summer Palooza 4 a reality, but not really bigger compared to last year. If anything, it kind of sums up onto what Pokemon was when it comes to the earlier generations in the anime, and as later on, it's been toned down. It really goes to show that the bigger they are, they can't stay big forever. And I didn't say the harder they fought because they never got fought, despite of what you feel. So all in all, that's basically all I have in store for my schedules. Tomorrow, I'm going to be uploading my final We Bear Bears review for a while, along with a few YouTuber tributes that I have set up for this month and the following month, and there's a possibility I might do more in May. But when it comes to everything else that I've just mentioned, it's going to happen, but not too early, in the fact that I do not want to pressure myself into doing multiple projects. And believe me when I say this, when I'm gonna give you my social media accounts, not really social media accounts, but my links to my social media accounts on different platforms like Tumblr, where it shows long projects means more ideas or better ideas. I can't remember. I'm still new to Tumblr. You might understand that the combined videos into one huge video would be a lot more interesting knowing of what I have in store for those ideas. And trust me, it'll be worth the wait once that happens. I'm Lonely Fanboy 4 here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.